Yes, indeedy. It is time for another Real Talk here on Steve Shetler Media, brought to us by New Life Community Church in Wellman, Iowa. Got Aaron Fleming and Aaron M. Fleming, author and pastor. I'm Steve. I'm just the normal guy that hangs out here. What's up, Aaron?
Well, I think you ought to get a better title than that. You're just like Aaron M. Fleming, author and pastor, and then there's Steve,
business owner.
Back when Steve attended New Life Church in Wellman, we used to call him Steve the Voice because he has what is, I think, undeniably at this point, the most popular and well-known voice in all of Southeast Iowa.
Wow.
Steve Shetler.
Thank you.
All right, a voice made for radio. But now coming to you on Facebook.
Yes.
And all sorts of places on the interwebs.
Yes. All media.
Yeah.
No media is safe.
Steve, I think we should make sure that people can see our...
This was not planned.
Totally unplanned. Except that we are united by bonds of Hawkeye-fulness.
Indeed we are.
Fandom has united us.
Did you get to see the game over the weekend?
I did get to, I had to listen to the semifinal game.
Okay.
On the radio because we don't have ESPN. And then since we only get 2 channels on TV now, had to go to my in-laws. I say had to. I like to go to my in-laws. They're great people. And they feed me well. So
you were forced.
No, for those of you who are my in-laws and are listening, I really like coming to your house. No, they feed me well, and I like their daughter pretty well. So,
good.
Keith and Cindy, if you're out there, thanks for being my in-laws. So, yeah, we watched the game, but I think what we want to kick off with here today is the call from the national semifinal game. 3.9 seconds left.
Yes.
The referees suddenly whistle UConn for a moving screen. Steve, was it a moving screen or was it not a moving screen?
That was my interpretation of the screen. Yeah. Well, I had shared, and I was trying to find it before we went on today, and it was just having trouble getting it found. But I shared a video that I had found on the internet over the weekend that, if you had any doubts as to whether it was a moving screen, it was, with the video and the angle that I shared, it was definitely 1 billion% a moving screen.
1 billion% a moving screen. Anybody with eyeballs can see it.
Yeah.
And yet, there continues to be controversy, or so the media would like us to believe.
Yeah.
What was the controversy about? Why was that controversial?
I think the controversy was because, TV didn't show that particular angle. They went with the angles that made it look far more controversial. Like, I saw you had commented somewhere where the announcers watched the replay and they were saying, it's controversial. And then they ended it by going, ooh. Yeah, after seeing the contact that was made.
The lady's saying Edwards leans slightly and the foul is called. And right as she gets done with that sentence, you see the elbow extended and Gabby Marshall's head snapping back as she gets blasted by a player who's at least 6 inches. Iowa lists Gabby Marshall at 5'9".
That's probably generous.
I think that's extremely generous. I would say 5'7".
Okay.
And Miss Edwards from UConn, and I gotta give a shout out to that young lady. That young lady has spent some time in the gym. Did you see her arms?
No, she's a big girl.
I am ashamed of my biceps. In comparison to that 18 or 19-year-old young lady, I am ashamed of my biceps. So that gal has put a lot of time in the weight room, and kudos to her for that. maybe that doesn't get called if that screen had been against Hannah Stuelke, someone else. But when you got a 6'3" gal with arms like that, blasting little Gabby Marshall, it's hard to miss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it was controversial because the referees should just let the players decide the game, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
Yes.
Because setting a moving screen isn't the players deciding the game. Right? Well, UConn got whistled for so many more fouls. It must be rigged. Or I actually liked what the UConn coach said after the game. It's like, yeah, we got called for 4 of those, and I don't think Iowa got called for any. I guess we got to get better at not setting moving screens. Yeah. How about everybody else get better at not fouling people?
Indeed. Yep.
All right. So no controversy on the Steve Shetler show.
No.
We're in complete agreement.
It was definitely a screen.
Definitely a screen.
So moving screen.
Moving screen. And the big thing that people are outraged by once you can't avoid anymore that it was a foul. Well, they shouldn't call fouls in the last 5 seconds. What is that?
Yeah. Why call any fouls?
What? I saw
gang warfare.
But just have a semi-organized brawl that includes an orange ball at some point. Like, I don't know. Maybe we should just pull the refs off the floor in the last minute.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
Yeah. Yeah, there's flawed logic in the argument from the get-go.
Yeah. And I kept wondering too. Okay, so what if they don't call that, and Paige Beckers gets the ball and puts a shot up with half a second left, and Hannah Stuelke would have been right in her face. Okay. If you look at the position of where Beckers would have been if she'd gotten the ball and where Stuelke was. So what if Stuelke's right in her face and slaps her across the forearm as she tries to get that shot off and the shot goes wild? Are the same people going to be like, well, let the players decide? Or are those people going to be screaming and moaning and carrying on about how the refs blew that call at the end?
Yep.
All right. Well, I don't know if we've exhausted that topic, but actually I have even stronger opinions about this topic, Steve.
Okay.
Are you ready? This is real talk. We call this real talk, but in some ways we don't get real controversial a lot of the time, do we?
Do we avoid controversy? Let's dive in. Let's get controversial.
Okay. Here's my controversial statement about the call. I think all the whining and complaining about the call reflects a spirit of rebellion that has infected our nation.
Yeah.
How do you like that?
I like it.
I just don't like rules. That's the message of the people who don't want that call to be called. I want to be special. I don't want the rules to apply to me, or they can apply some of the times, but when it gets down to crunch time and I just really want to do my own thing and not have anybody judge me or blow a whistle at me, the rules don't apply to me. And I think...
Can we sound like a patriotic song behind you while you're saying this?
Get a flag waving or something like that. Like in the spirit of controversy, this is exactly what's wrong with America. And I hope you can tell by my voice that I'm kind of joking, but also kind of not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what happens in my life and in your life and in our listeners' life if we actually go through life thinking I should be able to get away with the things that I want to be able to get away with as long as there's only 3.9 seconds in the game? Or like, let's talk about sin, Steve. Have you ever had any trouble, putting you on the spot here, have you ever had any trouble justifying sin? I mean your own.
My own sin? I mean, I have tried, sure.
I was hungry. I was angry.
I was an idiot.
I just wasn't thinking.
Weakness, a moment of weakness.
I was tired. Somebody else did me wrong first.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Oh, I'm not hung up on anything like that. No.
Everybody else is doing it. The referee was in a bad position. I don't even know if we can trust the referee. Like, is he,
he was probably a UConn grad.
Yeah. Or had money on the game.
I saw a dollar bill sticking out of his pocket.
Yeah, paid off. Oh my. Yeah, just back to the basketball thing. We see so many, and I'm going to sound off about one more issue here, and that is gambling, internet gambling. I think the amount of conspiracy theories about refs and this game being rigged and that game being rigged, the amount of whiny conspiracy theories about sports has gone up in exact correlation with the increase in online sports betting.
Yeah.
Sports betting is rotting sports fans' minds. You heard it here first on Real Talk. That's my opinion, and I'm going to stand by it. But we're going to come back in a week, and we're going to talk more about this idea of a spirit of rebellion, because getting down to spiritual things and real talk about our spiritual lives, your response, dear listener, dear watcher, your response to authority is going to determine almost everything about how you operate in the spirit realm.
Deep.
Whoa. Whoa. The spirit realm operates on authority. And so your response and my response is going to determine everything about how we engage in the spiritual realm. So, a little teaser for next week. I think we'll come back next week and talk about the spiritual realm.
There we go.
Okay.
I look forward to it.
Hey, we should say to our friends out there, if you want to have a conversation online, you can drop a comment in our comment section.
Yep.
You can message us, and we're like I'm available. I don't know if Steve is available. I'm available here in Southeast Iowa to get together with men's groups or church groups to talk about the spirit realm and combating the forces of darkness, or just men's issues, or kind of all kinds of stuff like that. So get a hold of us if you want to know more about some of these topics that we're talking about. And we are available to meet with, I'm saying they. Steve's running a media empire here, but I'm a pastor, so I've got time for some of that stuff. So drop us a line in the comment section, or direct message us, email us, send us a carrier pigeon, send us a letter, maybe fax. Even a telegram, a fax. Find some way of getting a hold of us, and we'd love to have more of a conversation with you. But I think that might be all for this week, huh?
I was going to tell you or ask you about as far as contact. Does New Life Community Church in Wellman, do they have like a website or anything where people can get more information?
Yeah, we do have a website. We're looking to upgrade it, so I'll warn you, it's slightly clunky, but we've got a website and we've got a Facebook page, so you can like us. You can follow us there. We do live stream our worship services. We'd far rather have you show up in person, but if you're shut in or just checking us out for the first time and you wonder if I'm any good at preaching, or how our worship team does, what's the music like, you can check us out online on Facebook, and we'd love to get to know you a little bit better that way.
All right. So that'll do it for this week for Real Talk with Aaron and Steve, again brought to us by New Life Community Church in Wellman, Iowa. Aaron, we will see you again next week. And let's try not to wear the same outfits next week, all right?
All right, we can do it.
We'll see you guys next week.